I just realized that in order for me to do this sort of easily, I have to have the camera close enough to the computer so that the microphone on the camera will pick up my voice, but so that I can also read what's on the computer screen. So I hope that the fan on the laptop doesn't interfere too much. But I figured I'd read this so that you might be able to get a little bit of a feel for, I don't know, just sort of maybe who I am, or whether or not I actually feel that this is something a lot of people go through, but they don't get around to expressing it to anybody. So maybe my ideas and what I've been going through might spur something or some sort of conversation. So yeah, let's just see where this goes. Okay, so I'm going to start reading now. For some time now, I have felt the need to start making my life more than what it is, more than just living to subsist, to do more with my life than just have fun, which is what I had done up until a couple of years ago. To do more with my life than just work and be serious, which is what I've done for the last couple of years. Growing up, I remember having connections, roots, family which extended to more than those that I was related to. Friends of my parents who were more than just someone I would see visiting my parents. They cared for our family, and it was as if we were related not through blood, but through feeling as well. Neighbors who behave more like friends rather than someone who simply shares your postal code. I remember a social courtesy that I haven't really seen in my local community for far too long. Don't get me wrong, I have been lucky enough to form relationships like that throughout my life. People who aren't just there for the parties and free picnics, but who would be there for the bad times and in between times. Just be there. Or so I had thought. There are still a few who try, but most have gone their own way, leaving behind bonds that were so strong I never believed they would ever fail. I seem to have been one of the people who have wandered and lost myself. If you're one of those who is trying, I ask that you have patience with me. I'll get there in time. To begin, quote-unquote, getting there, I thought I would start in one of the places that gave me some of my first lessons outside of my family in love towards my fellow human beings, where I first became aware of those in the outside world who were good and caring for no other reason than it was the right thing to do. I went to church, to the Catholic community. I felt that since it had been such a big part in forming the person I am, although I have made and lost my track, I might be able to experience something that would help to guide me back to that person, the person I was. What I did find were the same reasons I stopped going there years ago. A priest who had all of the energy of a three-toed sloth. He spoke as if he were on his deathbed, breathing his last. Not that he was sick, mind you. He simply had no life to him. For this part of the day, in any case. Before Mass, I saw him joking and smiling with his ushers, but as soon as it was time to begin, he glazed over. He seemed as if he were on autopilot, doing this because there was no one else who would. He was stuck. If not the leader of this parish, who inspires nothing in his parishioners but thoughts of what was to be done once they left this building for another week. That was another reason that I stopped going to Mass, I might add. Those who did go, and were of a generation where there were no questions about it, you had to go to church, and that was the end of it. Whether you or they got anything out of it did not matter, you just had to go. Sure enough, out of the 40 or so that were there, consisted of a half-hearted plea to give the church money, and had little, if anything, to do with the gospel at all. Now I realize that the physical building, although it is a sacred place and the house of the Lord, it's just that, a building, and the people within it have their own reasons for being there. It is my faith that matters, and I'll just have to find that one parish where I can't find the community I'm looking for. I don't think I'm going to give up the church, nor am I looking for invitations to a new faith, but I sure was put out by today's experience. Okay, so that's what I had written. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to preach. I'm not heavy duty into religion or anything like that. It's just sort of that feeling of needing to belong somewhere, I guess, and finding meaning in something other than yourself, and being concerned with other things in this world, which I sort of have lost for quite some time. So I wrote that and got a few responses from my friends, and I just thought it might be something that I could read, and you guys could come to somewhat of an understanding as to what sort of frame of mind I'm in or something like that right now, and why I appreciate the whispering community as much as I do, and why I'm now trying to give something back. So if you've made it this far in this video, I thank you for listening. I'm not going to be harping on this subject. I just thought it might be something that some people might want to hear.